Good evening. It is Tuesday, not Tuesday, it's Thursday, the 12th of October, 2023, and it is coming up to 8:30 p.m. UK time. And this is the 45-day show, episode 11. I can't believe we've got to 11 shows already. Now, someone who's been on the show quite a few times, I think this might be his fourth appearance on the show, is AdeyP, and we have him on because he's firstly a great guy, secondly he's got really positive vibes, and thirdly he organizes the Big Weekender, and I've been lucky enough to be part of the last two, and I'm chatting to him about that. And it's all in aid of calm, campaign against living miserably, mental health, raising awareness, and it's so important that we talk about it a lot on this channel. So before further ado, we have AdeyP.
Hey, liking that intro, Criztoz.
Thank you, man. Well, I mean, it's from the heart. It's from the heart.
It is. Especially that I'm a great guy, positive all the time, and clearly, as you can tell, not feeling the effects of the Big Weekender at all. Because, well, let me first start saying you, Criztoz, have been an absolute legend. Thank you so much for your support. One of the biggest supporters of the Weekender, with all your promotion, with all these types of shows, with everything else like that. So from the heart, Mr. Criztoz, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Wow, this is bright. This is
bright.
very bright.
I think what it is, I'll let you sort that. I don't know if you want to turn the light down or what, but I think one of the best things about Twitch and the family and the community and everything else is it brings you together with people that you might not otherwise in a million years ever meet.
Yeah,
because potentially, you know, what you're doing and what I was doing, we might not have met had it not been for Twitch and raid trains and people collaborating and mixing communities. And that's what I've liked about it, because you meet people like you and then you meet your community and we go from there. So that's what really this has been about, isn't it?
Incredible. The thing is, again, with the Big Weekender, you find that lots of different of the scenes are mixing, and this is what makes Twitch amazing. Because whereas it would be normally quite separate, we'd have these events that'd be quite separate, and they'd be keeping within their particular genres or particularly in their little cliques. So the Big Weekender brings everyone together, and it was just another example of how beautiful this community is. Because I've done fundraising over the phones, I've done fundraising door to door. And to raise that amount of money in that short space of time is a testament to Twitch. And bearing in mind, there's loads of these types of things going on. So big up yourselves, guys. Big up Keisha. Big up Missy Legs as well. And Paul.
And Double P.
Double P.
Double P. I'm glad you're here, man. You've been on the show before with AdeyP. And you know, I think last year, I've said it quite a lot, but last year, I think his set on the Big Weekender, or the last event, Minimal P, was just one of my highlights of the year. You know, it's such a heart-wrenching stream that you created, and you're creating moments as well.
Yeah. Paul brings on Minimal P. Big shout out to Minimal P, by the way. Because it's something different. It gives him an opportunity to stream. Obviously, he's got the 45 kids in which he does it. But I think we place Paul and certain other people on a Sunday because there's a certain resonance that happens when it gets to the Sunday, and it's a sort of emotional streams. And what I like about Paul and Minimal P and some of the DJs, they really believe in the cause. They really believe in the event and why we're doing what we're doing.
I know, and it's.
But his sun is on, guys.
Okay, just keep
way too bright. Yeah. I'm not being an asshole here. You know what I mean? It's just too bright.
But yeah, it's people like that, and people who are prepared to talk about what's going on in their lives. If it wasn't for Paul reaching out to me and saying what was going on, and the fact that James had sent him this message saying thank you to me and Fat Wax for helping him stream and get through his depression, you know, I might not have started my talk shows. And it's amazing that people have been open and honest about their mental health. And he was on the Big Weekender this week talking about stuff that he went through. You know, he opened his show explaining that, you know, he was about to jump. He was almost on a bridge and ready to jump at one point a few years ago. And to start a stream and be so honest about mental health is a testament to what we're trying to achieve, all of us, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the thing is, what it is anyone that can allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to share. And it's up to the person how much they want to share. However, that I think is the real key where you're going to really engage people with things, because we don't want the whole event to be sad, morose, and sort of thinking,
No.
oh, you know, things dark. But those moments are really special because that vulnerability allows other people to say, do you know what? If he's being vulnerable in front of 50 people, then maybe can I? And testament to those people who are brave enough to do it. And there's great power in that, guys. You know, often things that we get scared of, when you actually the reality is there's nothing really to be fearful of, and actually there's a great strength in vulnerability. And when you allow yourselves to be open enough to share with things with people, that can often at times be put back in your face. Let's face it, we've all had times when we've been vulnerable to the wrong people, and often that shuts us down because then we're like, oh, you know, I was really vulnerable and they made me feel really insecure about it. We all understand that, but don't let that stop you from finding your right people that you can share these moments with. Because for me, I see some of them in the chat here, especially on the weekend, that when I was having my down moments, when I was having moments of vulnerability, I'd be sending voice notes or I'd be chatting to people, and they were there, the ones that helped me and propped me up. So big shout out to Missy and big shout out to Chilky and Keisha and Paul, because again, they're just people in the background that, you know, you can find people that you can be vulnerable with, and they don't judge you. They don't make you feel an idiot. And that's where mental health really comes about, because you really do have to be brave enough to, or at least, you know, be open enough to be vulnerable. And it's great power in that, guys.
And it's amazing. And I tell you what's really amazing is the fact that these are people that we've largely met on Twitch, isn't it? And yes, we've gone on to then meet up with them in person sometimes, but like me and you haven't met yet in person. You know, we've done a lot of streams, we've done a lot of shows and stuff together, but we haven't met. Hopefully next weekend. But it's amazing that we've got these friendships and people that we can trust, who we may not have even met in person, when there's other people in your life that you've known a lot longer that you might not open up to.
Yeah, but I open up to many people, but the thing is, I've realized recently is that a lot of my, look, let's be honest, Twitch has been a massive lifeline for me, having a massive social circle, and then that diminishing as I sort of made choices in my life to do not certain things and remove myself from certain environments. What happened was I did lose a massive chunk of my social life, because you know, often people, you know, they're not very comfortable with that side of me, and I will continue to strive to do that. However, in my real life, I have struggled with that recently, and it's been a real shift in my perspective. So having Twitch, that I know I can either facilitate these sorts of events or come onto streams and say, hi, how you doing? And having that go back and forth it's an incredible, it's done wonders for my own mental health. Hello, and Becky.
Hey Becky. Who else have we got? We got DJ Recovery Rate, we've got Missy Legs, Chalky99, Keisha, Double P. Welcome in, everyone. We're talking about the big weekend, part 4. This was obviously probably the biggest one you've done in terms of the DJs and the sort of.
No, not really. I think the thing is, the numbers are getting good. The numbers are consistent. I think other DJs are starting to raid in. I mean, we had consistent numbers, I think, around about 50 plus throughout the whole event. I think people are starting to take it seriously. And I think what I mean by that is that they try and differentiate from your normal raid events, because there's a certain energy and ambience that comes with this event. It's intangible. You can't really describe what it is, but something about it leans itself to more positivity, more sharing, more kindness, more openness with things, you know, more conversations in the background, because you know it's not only just me, more people they're messaging and more open up. So it seems to be lending itself to a much more it's just different from what other raid events you get on Twitch. And I hope it grows, because you know we'll get onto that later, but there's so much room for expansion with this event, and incorporating loads of different other charities, international charities. Because what I found is, whilst obviously mental health is a universal topic, the internationals didn't necessarily get on board with the charity, and I completely understand, because it doesn't relate to them. So we need to try and open up other channels for the international streamers to bring in their charities their support lines and things like that. So it's much more of a global, global. I don't know the right word for it really, but collective, where maybe they might focus on the charities that actually affect them and their region, wherever they are.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about that earlier today, didn't we? Because we'd had this sort of conversation before about whether it would help people get more involved and perhaps donate more if the charity that was part of that stream was from the country that they're in. And I noticed it, as I said to you earlier, on Funky J's stream, that he had an Australian mental health charity, and from the description it sounded very much similar to what Calm does. So I'm going to find out some more details about that from him. I sent him a message, but it's interesting, isn't it? And I think because Twitch is worldwide, and if these events are going to be worldwide, then let's see if in each country we can help with mental health charities.
What I've just done as well, Criztoz, I've removed my link, because if you're starting to see some little plugs there for my timetable, what's happened is I've linked my Twitch channel, Criztoz, to mine. So I removed that. I didn't want my schedule coming up, so remove that. Sorry, I've forgotten the question now, Criztoz. You were saying about
so have I.
Yeah.
I was saying, we were talking about the fact that we'd had a conversation about worldwide mental health charities. So each streamer in each country would have their particular mental health charity. And then I'd seen Funky J, and he had put up the Australian version effectively of Calm. And so so we want to get this worldwide. But before you answer that, we have a massive raid from Platin Pat's Official. Welcome in, raiders. I'm talking to AdeyP. We are talking mental health. We are talking the Big Weekender Part 4. We are talking about Twitch and community and family. So it's not a music stream, but there's going to be some music chat, but also about important things that we think everyone needs to talk about. So you can stick around. It'll be great. And welcome in. And hopefully you'll find something of interest. But so we want to, you want to do it and effectively make it more worldwide in terms of charities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were talking earlier about, I think the thing is, most of the time, I think mental health awareness is the key for everything. And ultimately, if other charities in regions are going to benefit from that, fantastic. Because let's just face it, let's just look at it from this point of view. Even if you're raising $100, $200, I mean, I did get very Bob Geldof off on people's asses on Sunday. I really did. I was pushing this stuff because I believe in it. And I really was getting to the point where I was like, right, okay. But let's just face it, even if we're only raising a small amount of money for this charity, it's going to benefit. If we are raising awareness, if we're raising the normalization around mental health conversations, that's what it's about. So I don't want the distraction of it being, oh, this is a UK charity and everything else like that to distract from what we're trying to do here. And if we look back to when Twitch started and what it was all about when we were in the lockdown, it was all about community. It was all about togetherness. And let's look at it. Post-pandemic, this is when we're starting to really start seeing the effects of mental health on people. So we're not going to change the world, but one step at a time, we can make a massive difference. There are a lot of people suffering out there. And I think we mentioned earlier, if just one person's talking about it and then that encourages someone else, or someone in that chat has got a link to a support line, then they click on that. We've got to stop thinking about numbers. We've got to start thinking about this whole massive shift in the world. It's just about small changes, small differences we can make, and keep on creating a nice weekend full of great music. And hopefully there's guaranteed throughout these hundreds of viewers that we had this weekend that someone might have clicked on that Calm link. There's someone there that would have created, gone to that support line without doubt.
Yeah. And it only needs one person, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
And then, it's worth doing for that one person who may have clicked on that and it made a difference. Then we've made a difference to a life, haven't we?
And the difference to me personally, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I really back up what I say. I try to sort of help people as much as I can, but I sort of had a meltdown myself. I think it come to the end of the weekend, and I sort of, you put your eggs into one basket, because I'd felt so vulnerable before I was doing this, and this is what allowed me to put all my effort in, because it distracted me from my own mental health issues. So you know, it's a cause I believe in. It's something I'm really passionate of, and I just feel like together, and you know, we're not just talking about the big weekend or any events or any things that we can do as a community to try and build this. Then we need to work together on this and collaborate as much as we can.
Yeah, and I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, for this and all the events we do, and if we're going to really push mental health, we need as much help as we can get, and that can
Yeah.
be as little as reposting on your Instagram the flyer, or maybe if you're good at graphics, maybe offering to do some graphics. If you're good at making videos and reels, you know, offer to do that, because we can't do it all. But if we all work together, I think we can achieve something much bigger than this. And then the next stage is we're also talking about expanding it, and you're talking about musicians or music for musicians in mental health.
Yeah, well, I mean, musicians in mind is what the thing I've come up with. But essentially, the idea is to have one day music festival where there's different stages. So you maybe have a drum and bass stage, a 45 stage, GFF stage, where really it tackles mental health within musicians. I think
Yeah.
the umbrella's there. What I mean by the umbrella, it's like there's so many different facets of mental health which affect different people in different areas. And again, it's just one of these things which, you know, it brings the community together. It brings a much more of a, you know, what I want to try and do is break down some of these cliques and barriers that you get in Twitch, because everyone does kind of stay within their lanes, and it's really nice to have everyone together, because there'll be definitely streamers on the big weekend. I just seen Chucky. Musicians are mentored, to be fair. This is the thing. It is very true. We're very vulnerable. It's very difficult because we're subject to so many internal thoughts, and whether imposter syndrome, where we're struggling in so many ways. I mean, even just turning on the stream button and streaming sometimes, so much anxiety. Let me give you a little window into my world this weekend. I had a fever Friday, proper fever, sweating out. My son was ill and barely slept. Now, this isn't a feeling sorry for myself type of thing. This is about overcoming something. And I remember it got to Saturday, and I was already prepared and was just like really gearing myself up. I was really in a bad place mentally, and I was just like having a talk myself. Actually, no, let's say Friday, I was in the same position, and I'm stressing out around my flat. My boys are looking at me going, okay, we'll get this. And I remember saying to him, I said, 10 minutes, watch me in the next 10 minutes, son, and I'm going to smash this. This will be a moment that you're going to see, that you can see how much I'm up against it, and I'm going to do it. And I did it. I smashed it. It was wicked. It was a triumphant moment. Fast forward to the next night. Oh, God. Same sort of conversation I'm having with myself. And then literally 3 minutes before I was getting a raid from Immaculate with about 90 people in, I knocked my controller off its stand, and it wasn't just the headphones, it was the headphone port. And I had one ear, and it worked for a bit. And as I'm playing, then it started cutting in and out. And I'm like, I've got another hour and 20 minutes to this, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I'm trying to keep it together, get it together for a little bit. But, you know, I couldn't really mix. Can't really mix most of the time, but you know what I mean? It was like, but then the community, they pulled me through. I mean, I wanted to die at that moment. I really did. It was painful, but the community pulled me through.
You shared that though. I think this is why, or part of it. You shared that. You were like, this is what's going on. I'm trying, you know, to keep it together. You know, it's going to be this, and you were open and honest rather than trying to hide it. So that was the vulnerability that we were talking about earlier. So hence the community does come into
it's being brave. It's being brave enough to admit that things go wrong. It's being brave enough to carry on and push yourself through, because I think we all get scared of things. We all face challenges, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm never easy, but there's a great satisfaction in overcome that. Okay, I might be getting some moments in the future when I'm shuddering and remembering that moment in time, because I do focus on some negative sometimes, but even in that moment came great strength. And even my boys, from what my boys could see, they could see me go, okay, Dad's really up against it here. And they were like, they thought I smashed it, and I clearly like couldn't hear the mixing.
But again, that's such a great thing to teach them and let them
Mm.
see, one, vulnerability aspect of it, but two, that you don't give up.
Mm.
You just
Mm.
carry on, never give up. And it's a great lesson to put out there. Double
Yeah.
P is saying it's like everyone sticks together when we stream to help out when things go wrong technically. And that's so true. That's so true. People help, people say, do this, do that, try this, try that. We're here, we're not going anywhere,
Yeah.
restart.
I wish they would have said, hey, just raid out, because I mean, obviously they were never going to do that, but it was the point where I was just like, really? You want me to carry on for an hour? But they were great and we worked it out. But again, we've all had those moments as streamers, guys. It's not easy being a streamer, because the thing is, another thing that my kids were like messing around. I'm thinking, in any given situation, you think, okay, you're opening the door and then suddenly 90 people are staring at you. It's a very strange
Yeah.
to be in. Do you know what I mean? And then, oh god, and then you're pretending like, hey guys, welcome, thanks for the raid, making it do, and you're like dying inside. But that again is one of the moments which we all face sometimes in life, when we're really up against it. You've got no choice but to carry on, have you?
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Let's talk a little bit about the different communities, because obviously part of the Big Weekender is bringing the community together, trying to break down the barriers. And it was certainly obvious. I caught bits, and it was great because a particular streamer would have their community, they'd raid out, and like most raids, people don't always stick around, but the fact that some of that previous community has stuck around for the next community's DJ is what we're trying to aim for, isn't it? Because they might then get into the community, they might like the vibe of that, the space, and then that's sort of helping to break down the barriers, isn't it?
I love that sort of challenge, and it is a challenge, trust me, to try and get those different cliques to buy into it, and even just in the music sense of things, because I curate the sets really carefully. So there's an emphasis. You get certain DJs, say if you're a drum bass DJ, might get 2 or 3 in a row. Then it might sort of have a DJ in between, which is what I call the transition DJ, which might play some drum and bass, but might play something else. And also try to link those communities together, because we do find ourselves in these cliques, which I find annoying as hell. Like, stay within your lane, great, but don't shut yourself off from great music just because it ain't in your little thing, because it's just nonsense. And I guarantee there'd have been definitely new followers and new people that had come into those streams, and they've seen those DJs as a result of it. And you do get it. Often people stay within their little group. They might be multi-genre, you might get open format DJs, but the community side of things, it's like, I like going into a chat. I went into a chat, we're named DJ, and within 10 minutes, this was a big weekend, everyone was like, hey, like, how you doing? It was just welcoming. And that's what we want, is Twitch. Even if you don't necessarily dig the music, you want to be able to go into a chat and people at least like, hey, how you doing? Some I went into and it was barely like I was there. And it's like, come on, guys, I'm not looking you to kiss my ass. It's, hey, just recognize that person's in your chat saying hello.
Yeah.
And not just hello, but if they're consistently saying hello. I don't like that closed off attitude. It creates barriers, and we've got enough of that going on in the world. So let's just try our best to slowly break that a little bit, slowly break it. Because ultimately we all benefit, If you choose not to like that DJ, then move on to the next one. But shutting yourself off from it, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, man. Do you know what I mean?
But it's about sort of working together and not being afraid of the different or what is going on the other channels. It's at the end of the day just being part of something bigger, isn't it? And I think the fact that we're doing it for mental health probably gets people talking about mental health more than they would do if the raid train wasn't happening. So just by the fact that something's happening starts the conversations, doesn't it?
That's the thing. And we look at the chat, it has always been like this. I completely agree. And I think if you look at it, like if you just take 10% or 2% off this, and that's the aim. It's not necessarily changing everything dramatically. It's just changing things within the Twitch world just a little bit. Just to, because I don't know all the international events. They could be doing things, but from what I know in my circles, there's not many events that combine the different what they call the different communities. One minute you got the 45s, then it's the GFF, then it's the next fam, then it's the drum bass community, and then it's this. within a day. I like that inclusivity. Is that the right word? Yeah, inclusivity.
Yeah, inclusive, not exclusive.
Yeah. You know, we're not trying to change the world here, guys. I mean, we're not. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want everyone to enjoy good music, good people, good chat, nice vibes, be there for each other. And that's it, really. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah. And obviously, Calm has been the charity that's been supported. Now, we've got a couple of videos. We're going to probably keep the second video till a bit later because it does contain some potentially disturbing issues. So yeah, just be aware of that if you're watching this back later. But yeah, shall I play the what is Calm?
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. Right.
You ever feel a bit crap? Well, you're not alone. Everyone does at some point. But the thing people don't realise is just how true that is in us guys. Out of the 6,109 suicides in the UK in 2014, 4,623 were men. That's 76%. On average, men are 3 times more likely to kill themselves than women in the UK. The numbers are so great that the leading cause of death for men under 45 isn't drugs, knife crime, gun crime or traffic accidents, but suicide. Scary, yeah? That's part of the problem. Most people are unaware that suicide predominantly involves men, and there's a strong social stigma surrounding the issue. It might partially be because of this stigma that men are less likely to talk about their problems and seek help in a crisis. This is where Calm comes in. The campaign Against Living Miserably is a UK charity that exists to raise awareness and change attitudes towards suicide in men. They provide a free, anonymous and confidential helpline and web chat service to give support and information to men of all ages who are down or need help. They also run a website, thecalmzone.net, and a free magazine, The Calmzine, where men can find information, solidarity and support. So if you are feeling crap, Calm is here on 0800 58 58 58 from 5 p.m. to midnight every day and online at thecalmzone.net.
So that's what it's about. Why is that charity particularly close to you, and why did you select it for the big weekend?
Well, first and foremost, 5 p.m. to midnight. I mean, they're doing their best there, isn't it? That's 7 hours. I mean, they're doing their best there, but clearly, you know, there's going to be people in crisis at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Well, because, you know, look, my kids are going to be probably listening back to this, so I've got to be careful what I say. So,
yeah,
you know, I suffered myself. Calm have helped me personally. I've had people in my life commit suicide.
Yeah,
you know, and if they had Calm, then maybe they would still be around. Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I would say, yeah, there's been 2 occasions in my life where Calm has, you know, helped me. I think the thing is, yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because ultimately it is focused around men. And I do often feel we're not excluding women in this conversation. It's definitely not the case at all. But men are the ones I feel that predominantly, you know, just again, I want to be very careful what I say here. I find it very difficult to talk about their feelings. I've never really found it difficult to talk about my feelings yet. I still struggle. And I just want men to know that, you know, regardless of anything else, it's not all just jokes and laughs and happy times. It can be times when you really do need someone to lean on. And I just use it from my own personal experience where, you know, people that I was very close to who on the surface seemed to have everything, you know. And I think that'll probably be reflected in the next video, because not everyone who is suicidal looks suicidal. Now, look, you know, the reality is, guys, is that, you know, it's fun in games and all that, but there are definitely people suffering out there. And if it's not just Calm, there's loads of organization. I go to regular meetings online, which are just sort of brotherhood meetings. They're kind of like online forums. They're online communities that you can talk to, where you read certain stuff, but also you get the opportunity to share if you'd like to share. And they're very helpful, because sometimes when you talk to friends, there's a whole thing that comes with talking to friends. You feel a bit nervous, you're a bit paranoid because they know your situation. You always feel like you have to present a certain front to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you've got some anonymity, then you can really be free with your talk, with what your feelings are. And that's where calm comes in, because you can talk it impartial and there's no judgment there.
Yeah. And obviously that's part of what the money that is raised will go towards, isn't it? Trying to have more people available. But yeah, let's have a quick look. This is what was achieved at the weekend. And I think there's still been like a donation or two coming in since the weekend.
It's amazing.
So it's up to like £1,559 from your goal of 1,500. So you hit the goal and a bit more, and that money is going to go towards providing people who'll be at the end of the phone feel calm, and that might make a difference.
If originally the goal was £1,000, I was cheeky, right? I was £1,000. I was lying in bed. Well, not lying in bed. I was just lying. And I was like, I'm going to just up it a little bit, just up it. And I want to say from the heart, a few thanks here to every single donor. There was some big donations. There was some just a smaller donations, but every single donation counted, guys. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, because the average cost for a call to facilitate someone taking that call was about £5. So you've got to remember what you've done there. And there's a lot of people struggling right now there with finances. You've made a massive difference. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to every single person that donated. I messaged you all individually, but now I can talk to you obviously like this. Thank you. You've really made a difference. Massive love to you. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, it's just amazing, what can be achieved from just coming together, isn't it? And it's beyond the music, isn't it? It's just the fact that we come together for a particular cause, and for that weekend, let's focus as much positive energy as we can towards this, and seeing if we can do some good. Transfer some of our positivity into something that might help people in the future.
Yeah, and also it's just a reminder, isn't it, of the beauty of human nature.
Yeah.
We often live in our world and we think that no one cares, which we know is not necessarily true. But we often think that we're alone, and these sorts of moments just really do reconfirm the beauty of humanity. And don't get me wrong, it's a small drop in the ocean, but it's better to be that small drop than none at all. I tell you that, guys, because what the statistics are saying is not acceptable. And whatever we can do, whether it's money or awareness, anything we could do to help our fellow brother and sister, then just do it. And it's moments like this that make me truly humble and on the verge of tears, because it really is beyond the music. We had a great time, by the way, with the music. And again, all the DJs, boom, every single one of you guys killed it. Thank you so much to every single one of the DJs as well, because they created this as well. Without them and putting their time out and putting their efforts in, this event wouldn't happen. So thank you to all those guys as well. Amazing.
Yeah, and it's everyone that's involved, isn't it? It's the DJs, it's the moderators,
yeah,
people who are sharing the links online, or the sort of cheerleaders on Instagram or whatever. Everyone has a little part to play, and that makes you feel a part of it, doesn't it? That you've played your part towards this greater good.
You think about it, you shared a post on Instagram. Let's not get that twisted as well. That could have helped, because that might put extra 3-4 eyes to the event. Those 3-4 eyes might have then added a donation. So when I'm being an annoying twat and I'm saying post it and pushing it, even if you're just posting it and sharing it, it makes a difference. So from everything involved, everyone's contributed, and that's what makes again this Twitch community just unique. It's amazing. Thanks, man. I got the sunglasses because this light's really bright. And I'm like, so I'm trying to be a dickhead, but thanks, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a success. We can definitely agree on that. It was positivity. Where are you going to take it from there? Where next?
I think the thing is, I think with the big weekender, I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to make sure that we get good programming, good DJs, create a bit more awareness. I think with some of the DJs, to make sure they're on board. Some of them didn't necessarily get the memo when it comes to the actual event, but that's okay. We'll give them more information to try and sort of feed to their audience, because I think there's the responsibility of the streamer just to sort of emphasize what we're doing. It's not even just about the donations, but also those sorts of things. So just create a good weekend, keep it as it is. But I think my whole idea with it is to create a bit more of a wider network and to bring in some of the other communities in and create other events. Maybe it's to do with car, maybe it's to do with their local charities, maybe it's to do with musicians. I'm not too sure. However, I still feel that there's possibilities, but I want to collaborate. So big weekend is always going to be my thing, but at the same time, if anyone in the community's got any ideas that want to work together with either myself or Criztoz to try and create more awareness or put on events, that's essentially what I want to do. I mean, I've got my own, it was good for me as well privately, because I now got my purpose in life, because I feel like all of the struggles and all the problems I've gone through, it feels like there's a reason for it now, because now I can invest all my energies and the times into trying to sort of make my life and other people's lives better. So so yeah, just a call out to anybody who wants to sort of get involved and work with me and sort of try and do something for me.
Yeah, and then we just want people to be here, really, and to be part of it. And like we said earlier, you know, if someone's good at graphics, if someone's good at overlays, if someone's good at, you know, writing the timers and stuff for streaming, you know, it's all these little things, isn't it, that take time. And obviously, if you can have someone you trust as part of a bigger collective doing those sorts of things, and it happens quite a lot in like the GFF. We've got Welsh Swanee there in the chat, but again, they've got different areas that they do. You know, it's sort of that what we need to build collectively, isn't it, to help?
Yeah, because I mean, even poster making, it took me ages to do the posters. I ended up, what really annoyed me about the posters is that I had this premium Canva thing, which I don't even know why I went premium, but I had to make some amendments. It went past the premium moment, and then essentially it was really annoying because the font was not quite aligned and things like that. And I tried my best, but every time I saw that poster, I was like, oh God, Aid. So if you're good at poster making, please hit me up, because it'll save me a lot of hassle.
Well, I am. I can help you. I've got enough going on, but I'm always happy to help.
Good,
you know, so let's do that. And again, it's the awareness of it, isn't it? You know, getting it out to as many people as possible. We go from there. We've just hit my follower goal. Welcome to Krakow, becoming 2,345th.
We have a raid,
and it looks like we got a raid. We got a raid as well.
Yeah, Candyman
raid. Yes, welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Candyman's been on this show before. We've had Welsh Swanee on the show. They were on together. Yeah, Global Funk fan. Welcome in. So yes, welcome in. We've got New Way next day. I can't pronounce it. X Hard R3X, Krakow, and obviously the people Missy Legs and Double P. Okay, so you've also talked about potentially turning it into more than just an online event. What would your sort of ideas and plans be with that?
Don't know. I think just an in real life event. I just sort of I have no idea, to be honest with you. I would say it would just be something which we could do in the future. It'd be nice to have an event where there's people actually. You could actually see people and do some charity fundraising there. I'm not too sure. I'm a bit wary about online events, because I did event promotion and it's a pain in the ass. But I think with the backing of people that and Twitch people, that might encourage me more to get back into it, because I'm traumatized by my promotion experience back in the day. So. Well, the idea is there, but we'll see on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But that's again where potentially members of the community who have access to, say, a venue, or have access to, say, an event space or something, you know, that's when you then get to connect and collaborate with people like that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing is great is to have an idea, but create a team. If you can create a team that can work together. I think the idea we were saying is about having a collective, like you've got the 45 collective and the GFF collective, but one that's under the umbrella of mental health. So we as a collective, we run our own events, which are based around mental health, whether they're raid trains, whether they're in real life. So essentially it's a team of people on the same page, wanting the same goals, ultimately wanting to create good content but also raising money and awareness. So that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Where you run multiple events, you know, just maybe for different charities, but you know, that would be the ultimate goal, I think, for me.
Yeah, everyone's here, and I think as New Way Next Day says, you know, it can happen, and the help's out there. And as Welsh Swanee says, we dream the same dreams, we want the same things.
Yeah, and
which is true, isn't it? You know, it's the similar things that we all want.
You've got to have a dream, guys. You've got to have a dream, man. And
Yeah.
I think the thing is as well, like, just give things a go. It don't matter about anything. Just give something a go. I hesitant to use the word tired, but frustrated. People saying, I want to try something, and they don't do it. We're all fearful. We know resources are tight, but you've got communities out there will help you. If there's anything in life that you want to go, life is too short. And I think we're going to be coming on to some sad news and everything that's been going on in life, because we really do need to recognize life is precious, it's short, and it really within the blink of an eye can just go like that. And I think there's anything which is like, I've been on my ass more than anybody, not more than anybody, but then recently I've been on my ass more than anything. And what I've known recently is that some of the best times have come out the worst times, and it's not easy to pick yourself up. It's not easy. It wasn't even easy doing those bloody emails a couple of days ago, because I was depressed as hell, and it was hard. But the thing is, I'm trying to say to you, it's like there's a bigger motivation. If your intention's right in this world, then you get through it. It's so much suffering, and it's not easy. And nowhere am I downplaying anyone's suffering, but I'm saying, if you've got a dream, you've got a goal, man, just take one step at a time. That's all you got to do. But don't not do it before it's too late, because otherwise you just, before you know it, you'll regret it. And Les Brown talks about this thing. He says, right, one day you're going to be in your deathbed. He says there's going to be the ghosts of the versions of, you know, who you were supposed to be, and you're looking around and they're all looking at you going, man, what happened, dude? Like, we could have been something, we could have done this. And you're like, oh, I know, but I was scared. We got people think, and I was scared about this. Yeah, okay, we get it. It's not easy, but you don't want to be in that situation. We're all going to have regrets, I think, to a certain degree. But if you can minimize that to the best of you can, what you got to lose? And, you know, what have you got to lose?
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. My good, really old school friend, ADSR Thug, is in, and he's saying, say yes to everything.
I like him. I like him.
Yeah.
Ex-AD president.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't look. I'm not getting on my. I get on my soapbox for a reason. I know nothing as much as I know everything at all. I'm just passionate about what I believe in, and I'm passionate about overcoming adversity, and I'm passionate about encouraging people just to be the best version of themselves. So in no way am I telling anyone what to do or thinking I know best, because I know fuck all. Excuse my language. But I also know that there comes from this event and this power and feeling I got from it after everything I went through is what it's about. So there we go. That's my 2 cents done.
And it's a case of keeping the conversation open, isn't it? You know, it doesn't just because the event's finished, or just because we don't just stop talking about mental health and you know, do that. It's trying to get and instill in people that on their streams, people are talking about mental health. Let's take a few minutes during a stream to talk about mental health and how you're feeling. Ask how your chat is feeling. You know, it's so important, isn't it? And that's another part of it.
Yeah, I think people do. I think there's definitely like a lot of streamers out there that really care about their community, and that's what makes you brilliant. You know, we really do. Streamers care about you guys. When you come in, you know, there's so much options on Twitch. You come in and you throw your little emotes up. We love that, and we really appreciate it. And I think those that don't look after their audience and they're self-serving, ultimately, well, it's their loss at the end of the day. But there's a great feeling of connecting with your community and having a bubble with them. Chilky99, I'm going to call him out. He has a bubble with his community every single time. We always have fun. You know, there's certain streams. Missy Legs as well. Like, her streams are just a safe space where we have a bit of banter. Everyone's taking the mick out of each other. It's cool. It's chilled. And I think those sort of streams are important. It doesn't always have to be about the serious things. It's just a safe space for people to to just hang out, you know.
Yeah. And as Candyman says, you know, love the community, feel honored that people have decided to spend their time with me. And it's always an honor, isn't it? You know, there's, especially now, there's so many channels out there that, you know, even I find it difficult sometimes to say, right, what am I going to watch? You know, am I going to watch this channel or this Raid Train or this person or what?
Yeah.
So the fact that people spend time on your channel means so much, and it's good for our mental health. And I hope, because they're coming there, it's a safe space and good for their mental health to chat to the other community members.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can all vouch for that. I'm going to make a particular shout out to John the Hat as well.
Yeah.
John the Hat, when I talk about highlights, was one of the most beautifully curated sets. It was incredible, because the very little sleep I did have, I woke up and I missed the first 5 minutes, and was the first time I didn't engage in a chat. And the choice of music, the pace of the music, the sentiment behind it, there's something special, John. I don't know if he's in the chat now, but
I was earlier.
And Liam as well. Big shout out to Liam, the fundraiser with the mostest. This boy, I mean, if he ain't got a career in fundraising, he should get one, because he rallied things around where it was so much fun. He made the fundraising fun, and he generated a lot of donations within his stream. It was a real treat. It was a fair play to you, Liam, man. It was wicked. But also, that doesn't discredit anybody else that encouraged and did things. It were just sort of particular notable mentions there. But every DJ, well, let's just say 90% of DJs were very focused on the calls. There was one or two that weren't so focused on the calls, but we won't name names. We'll let that one go.
Yeah.
Oh, we all know it is. Yeah, we all remember that.
Yeah, it's like you say, you know, you've got to focus on the positives, haven't you?
Yeah,
you're going to focus on anyone who was, like, you know, part of it. So when's part 5?
Part 5, March the 1st to March the 3rd next year.
Okay.
But we're going to do in Christmas. We're going to do a Christmas stream. So essentially, it's going to be a day stream. It's kind of like a big weekender off type thing. But it's what I want to try and do is curate those that are really what I would call, I'm trying to think of the right word for it, Criztoz, we were talking about earlier. But, you know, like, they represent what we're doing. Like,
yeah, we spoke a little bit earlier about sort of going through and picking out particular streamers who are, you know, talking a bit more about it or whatever, and feel comfortable talking about it, because not everyone does, and perhaps sharing their troubles. But then the second thing is there's a particular reason about Christmas, isn't there? Because that's when things can get quite dark for a lot of people.
Yeah, again, we're not trying to make everyone's Christmas miserable, but let's face it, we all face pressures at Christmas. SAD kicks in, seasonal affective disorder, where the nights get shorter in the UK. Lack of sunlight really does pay a difference to people's moods. So I think, and also we miss people a lot more around Christmas. If you've got family members that passed on or anything else, like, we're much more sentimental. There's a lot of people on their own. There's a lot of people struggling financially. There's a lot of people that are away from their kids. There's a lot of reasons why at Christmas it seems to be much more pertinent when we are in much more mental distress. So I just feel it'd be good to have something around that period of time, but also make it fun and have a bubble and all things like that. So I'm not quite sure of the dates of that yet, but that's going to be in December. But the next one's in March, March the 1st to March the 3rd next year. So we're going to try and do like 2 a year. We don't want to be like peddling it too much and bugging people with it too much. So
yeah, 2 a year is probably about right, isn't there? Because I mean, there is so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about potentially like a live event. We've talked about the next one that's going on. You know, we have got a video, I think. But before we play that, is there anything else you'd want to sort of discuss about the big weekender or mental health generally?
Becky, I agree with you. I was at home on my own last Christmas. It's absolutely brilliant, but not always the case for many people. But big weekender, listen, I talk a lot, but I also so passionate about what I do. I'm so grateful to every single person. I really worked hard on this, and I just want you to know that I do believe in what I do, and I do believe in you guys. And I really want to thank every single person, from the DJs to the moderators, to the chatters, to the raiders, to the donors. Of course, these ones are going to be really making a difference. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to Criztoz as well for all your promo work. Everyone who contributed towards the event, everyone behind the scenes that gave me support. I really thank you. And also, let's just, look forward to the next one. And if anyone has got any ideas, anyone wants to work with me or kind of have any sort of projects to go alongside this, then please get in contact. And of course, remember www.thecalmzone.net. And there's plenty of other things that Criztoz could put in the chat potentially about Calm, if you have any problems or any things like that. Thank you. I love you guys with all my heart. I really do. And I appreciate your support. Really.
Right, we're gonna play this video, and then we'll have a quick chat afterward. It is a little bit distressing, so obviously there's a bit of a trigger warning here. So if you've suffered, someone who's had committed suicide, and you think this may be a bit difficult to watch, then obviously it may be time to move on. But anyway, we're going to play this, and again, this is from Calm.
Clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Bring me sunshine in your smile.
I'm boiling up.
Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness, so much joy you can give to each brand new bright tomorrow.
What are you gonna do today?
I would go run around in my new shoes.
Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love.
And that's why we do it, really, isn't it? Because you just never know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I mean, look, I mean, that's the, we don't want to, it's particularly triggering for a lot of people potentially, but this is the reality of it, guys. This is the reality. It's not fun and games all the time. We love what we do. We have fun what we do, and it's beautiful that we got this platform to have some fun. But every now and again, we just need to every now and again just need to be a little bit serious with life, and just remember this is shit that's going down. So we don't mean to upset anybody here, but really,
I think you're never going to necessarily be able to stop anyone doing that, but I think the best we can do at this stage is simply checking in with our friends, isn't it? And that's partly where Twitch and the live streams come in, because we're having this conversation, and normally we might have this conversation just the two of us, but we've able to bring in the community and people to be able to be part of this conversation, and hopefully then go on. And one of the things John the Hat said a moment ago is that he said that he's noticed that discussions elsewhere have arisen because of the big weekender. So that's
that's exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is the fantastic aspect of it, isn't it? I think Criztoz made a good point there. What we can do now, I put an Instagram post out. It's like, just what's wrong with someone at the end of the stream, just sending a text to someone you haven't spoken to. I say, you all right, mate? There's really very little that, sorry, that's the littlest thing that you could do for someone. Just send them a message and you're right.
How's it going?
Yeah, you're okay.
And it's just that little connection, because that might then think, oh, I've got to respond to this, or I've got, it's interesting that my friend or whoever I haven't spoken to for a while, and then like ADSR says, we'll check in on your friend's Twitch stream. There you go. Calxtrus Cafe, I'm really sorry to hear that, and I'm glad you're here, and you didn't go through with that. Ed Bond can never have enough reminders just to send that check-in message. virtual hug.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone's like we haven't caught up in the chat, but thank you for all your input today, and thank you for being part of this conversation, because it's important. So thank you. I haven't caught everything what you've said, but it's appreciated.
And we do appreciate it. You know, I mean, I'm not talking for all streamers, but I appreciate it. Not just people hang out, but the support and people come back and then messages and saying, you know, checking on a show. I mean, we've got quite a lot of people watching this at the moment. You know, not everyone's active in the chat, but there's quite a few people watching this. And thank you for being here, you know, because you make our lives better, because obviously we've got an outlet to deal with when we're going through shit. You know, when we're going through issues with our mental health, you know, we can switch on a stream, get into a community, be given a bit of a lift by a community, and it's really underestimated how much the viewers and the community do for us as streamers.
I said it all along. I said, guys, you got to kiss your guns because you're amazing. It's a metaphorical, like literal thing for just saying, reminding yourself you're awesome. You know, whatever you're going through in this world, you're definitely awesome people. And, you know, as someone just said there, it's can never enough reminders just to send that check-in message. It's so simple. And like, it's easy to just end the stream, go to another DJ and do all that sort of stuff, but just do it. You know, it'd be interesting to know how many people are in here that actually could do that. You know, or just, you know, just to sort of just say hi, how you doing? It's all good.
There you go. Becky saying he saved her recently, practices what he preaches, I'll never forget that. And that's so important, isn't it?
Becky, love you, darling. Thank you so much. That's a lovely thing to say. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Well, I'm not sure what John the Hat says, can I post a link? It's to a video from Norwich FC, right on point. I don't you probably have to whisper it to me. If you whisper it to me, John the Hat, because it probably won't work, but yeah, whisper it to me, and I don't know if we'll be able to play it, but I can then post it and people can have a look at it later. I'm intrigued now. I'm intrigued to see what it is. But as always, Adey, thank you so much. You know, we said that we'd have more than one conversation. The conversation is just going to carry on, and we're going to do lots of cool stuff together, and see where we can take this.
Thank you, Criztoz. Thank you, chat. Thank you, beautiful, everyone involved with the big weekender. Thank you, but also thank you to the Twitch community. Thank you for everyone that supported me. Thank you to all the behind scenes people. You're beautiful people. I love you to bits, and onwards and upwards. And if anyone ever needs anything, just shout me. If you got my details, I might not always be able to answer, but I'll do my best for you, beautiful people.
Okay.
Go and hide under a wall, into a rock now.
We're almost done. We're almost done. Hold on.
Yeah.
Right. We've got the link. Oh no, hold on.
Look, be careful what John might send you privately.
I've checked it.
This better be appropriate, Jonathan.
It is. It's from Norwich City FC, and it's basically saying at times it can be obvious when someone is struggling to cope, but sometimes the signs are harder to spot. So it's a video. So yeah, links in the chat. Thank you so much, John, for that. And yeah, we'll have a look at that.
Nice.
Right, let me just set this raid very quickly.
Big up for the raids as well. Big up to Platin Pats, is it? And DJ Candy.
Platin Pats official got involved. Yeah. Big shout out to Platin Pats. Right, we're going to set the raid. We're going to go and see one of my favorite DJs on Twitch and in real life, DJ Mr. Thing. He's been part of some of the charity events that we've done as part of We Love 45s. We did a charity event, and part of that included a mental health charity, Ben Raymer's Foundation, which is a young lad, unfortunately a skater from Cambridge who took his own life, and then they've set up this charity to sort of help and get skaters to talk, similar to us as DJs and us as old men talking to each other. You know, they've
old men,
old man and a younger man.
Okay, older men,
older men. Vintage. We're at a vintage age.
Vintage, yeah, I like that.
That's the word. That's the word. My wife's laughing at my comment on that. But anyway, it's been amazing, Adey. If anyone wants to watch this back, it'll be on YouTube and it'll be on Mixcloud, and it'll probably be part of a podcast very soon. But take it easy. If you hang on there for a minute, Adey, we just have a quick chat afterwards, and we'll speak to you all soon. Take it easy, and thank you, Hammy, for being here. That was great.
Sweet.